Welcome to Tampa Bay. We fuck 'em up when we raise the flag. Fire the cannons and seize the day. The crew's ready, all hands on
I'm
deck.
gonna be quiet because it's about to start.
What is up, Bucs Nation? I'm your boy Sammer, hanging out with Poppy Latte. Stanker's Room is joining us. You're watching the Loose Cannons and the return of the first ever member of the Loose Cannons Hall of Fame, Jake fucking Arians. Welcome back, bro. Look at the guns. Guy looks amazing.
Bro,
Got the Sammer treatment on the beard. Got the guns.
Poppy taught me how to shape it up.
I like it.
hey, that name holds some weight, bro. Just,
Oh,
Sure.
look who decided to show up.
there he is. Way to show up.
I'm back.
Way to
Yeah.
show up.
Stank was upset about the fact that Baker Mayfield has basically wrapped up the quarterback competition. It's
Done.
obviously his job. He didn't even want to be here for the beginning of the show. It's all good.
Hey, he had his opportunity though. Remember? He had his opportunity, and then
Yeah.
he had to go. Taco Tuesday, or I don't know what was going on. He couldn't record. He had his moment to just shine and just take a crap on all of us, and he didn't do it. He didn't capitalize.
He has podcast ED is what he had.
You guys are talking about like this, like it's over, bro. All right.
It's over.
Well, let's get Jake's opinion.
Yeah. Let's ask the great Jake Arians. His dad's a quarterback whisperer. He's got books and knowledge that none of us will probably ever know. I mean, look, come on.
No, it's over. Look, I think it was over going in. It was Baker's to lose, not to win. He played great, looked really good, had command of the huddle. I think the biggest thing is he has command of the locker room and the team. The original OG swag that we all loved, the Baker coming out, that made him the first pick. It wasn't the physical tools. It was that stuff. I think he's healthy again. I think another fresh change with somewhere he feels like he's won and had a chance to go in and win it with an offseason. I think helps. I mean, I think one of the Trask, I like Kyle. I think he's going to be good enough, but I think one of his downfalls is he doesn't have that. It's that quiet leader. And when you have Coach Bowles, who's a quiet leader, you need somebody that's fiery. And I think what I've said with the whole offseason, we talked about the golf tournament with you guys, if Baker can have some magic early in the season, pull off a win, and you get that running down the sidelines, Baker, throwing his hands up, the fans get behind him and go, oh shit, we've seen this dude. He took the Browns to the playoffs. And they got a chance to do some damage. I think that's the thing he has the leg up. It's not the physical tools. Kyle can play. He looks great. He's in phenomenal shape. He moves better than he's ever moved. They're both learning a new offense, so I don't think there's any advantage there. But I think all that stuff of Baker being a veteran, all these new teams, the way that they rallied around him in the offseason, in the locker room, that to me, it's as much of that stuff as it is playing on the field with the quarterback. Now, he can't go out there and throw a bunch of picks, but he looked really good the other night. He looked like he had a command of what was going on, a couple drives. And you can't put a lot on Kyle going in with the twos and all that kind of stuff. You guys know I'm not a big preseason guy, but watching a lot of the camp stuff, he's there.
He's made it a competition when nobody thought it would be. I didn't know, you didn't mention the salad video that he put on Instagram yesterday. I didn't know if that was part of the evaluation process. Like you're not a big fan of goat cheese or whatever, but clearly you think it's Baker's job to lose, and he's not going to lose it, and he's going to start week 1.
The way I look at it, Stank, one guy's baking. I mean, you're not doing much with salad. I mean, do you want your starting quarterback?
It's hard to bake, bro. It's hard to fucking bake. When
you're baking, you're dealing with heat. You're literally in the heat. You're in the thick of it. Like, it's tough shit. It's tough sledding. Anything could go wrong. I don't think you could burn a salad. It's very hard to fuck up a salad. Safe way out. It's a check down move. I'm just not a big fan of it.
Tom.
What's that?
It worked pretty good for Tom, but
Tom eats protein, sir.
Tom grew his own lettuce. You know what I mean? And he peeled the avocados. That's different.
It was Kyle's more from Giselle. So yeah, there's no. Like that was.
I didn't see any avocados.
I was on Publix and getting the salad kit. You need to get the salad kit, open it up. Nice.
You're in a competition right now. You're worrying about goat cheese on some fucking lettuce greens? Come on, dude. What are we doing?
I don't know what's going on. I did hear this, boys. I heard, like Jake said, that essentially it was Baker's to lose, and then Trash kind of I did it on purpose. Trash kind of stepped up, right? As he should, Jake, right? He was a second-round pick. He did great in the SEC. He stepped up, and he's kind of, I wouldn't say plateaued, but kind of. And Baker's starting to get more of a grasp of the offense. Got to play in the preseason game. He's starting to pull away slightly.
I think if they both weren't learning a new offense, it'd be a different story. Kyle sitting behind Tom for 2 years, knowing that offense inside and out at that point, I think would have given him leaps and bounds of an advantage. The fact that they're both learning a new offense, yes, Kyle has familiarity with some of the players. I don't know that gives you that much when you're learning new spacing, new route tree, instead of used to run it like this on a 12-yard comeback, now it's a 9-yard in. That changes the timing so much of all that kind of stuff. I don't think it gives him any big advantage there. But I think the way that the guys have rallied around Baker, like I said, if he can make some magic happen early and the guys believe in it and the fans get behind it, I mean, I think you could see a resurgence of Baker's career for sure. And they're going to need that to win the division.
Yeah.
Well,
which is very damn winnable.
Going back to something you said, Jake, and somebody mentioned it in the chat too. You said Kyle Trask was in there with the twos. Baker was in there with the twos, aside from the two guys on the right-hand side of the line, but the youngsters, obviously, Gadecki and Malk. So he didn't have starting guys around him. He didn't have the best wide receivers on the team. And then when he went in, he was facing the ones. Then Trask comes in, he's facing the twos, throws a late throw that was open, could have thrown it with anticipation. He just did stuff he shouldn't be doing at that point.
Bottom line, he didn't look great, and Baker looked really solid.
It was a hand punt anyways.
I've also heard the excuse that Gadecki and Malk looked a little bit not as crisp and sharp because it was, the heat index and it's 107. Nah, come on. They've been in camp for 2 weeks, guys. I've heard that thrown around, Jake. No, they didn't gas out and get tired because they played.
Dumbass world we live in. Yeah, somebody made an excuse. Imagine that.
Yeah.
Heat index. They're freaking practice every day in Tampa.
Every day.
Every damn day.
All right,
I mean,
so
it's
Jake,
a little
Like,
bit
you practice a hell of a lot more plays than you play in a game.
Yeah.
Every single day. So
Again.
especially the preseason game where everybody's going to play and there's 80 guys still.
plus it was at night. It wasn't like it was at noon.
Yeah, the intensity of the sun is more than the heat index. Like that's baking on you. That's a big difference. But yeah, no, they're fine. I mean, it's
I like that. I like that pun. Well done. Jake.
Salmon SoCal says this game versus the Jets will be the most telling for Baker. They got studs on the front. I agree, and honestly, I'm going in with low expectations. They're not game planning for it. They're not planning for it. Their front seven is disgusting, depending on who they play. And we got guys that are still kind of, cutting their teeth a little bit, getting a little bit of experience, which they need in Gadecki and Malk. So I don't expect much. It could be a fucking shit show. They're not going to game plan and try and avoid stuff, but they're not going to try to get Baker killed or trashed. But you know what I'm saying, Jake? Like they're not going to try and
look. The Jets have an extra week of camp. It's their third game. They're either going to rest some guys or going to play some more guys and then start resting them and backing off since they've got the extra stuff going on. I don't know. I don't put that much into what I see from preseason games. I mean, unless you just do something stupid. I mean, bad picks, bad
Jameis Winston pirouette
spacing.
Brown threw it up. Yeah, I remember that one.
Yeah, I mean, but let's go out and try to run the ball. Let's see what the offense looks like. What is going to be the identity of this offensive team? I'm more worried about going to Minnesota and winning a very winnable game on the road. It's going to be tough, but if the defense, to me, the entire key is the defense. Defense is healthy. If Todd Bowles is your head coach, your defense coordinator, you're going to stop the run. Dalvin Cook's gone. Madison's a stud. But that takes away their play action game where Kirk Cousins is so good. If you can go back to when we were giving up 40, 50 yards a game rushing, and you make Kirk Cousins stand back in the shotgun, yeah, you got to defend it. And Hawkinson's a beast, and Addison's going to be a stud, and we all know Jefferson's a freak. But if you take away the play action part of that for Kirk Cousins, he ain't as good when he's getting pressured like any quarterback. Go back to what this defense should look like. If the corners are healthy, if the safeties are healthy, if the linebackers are healthy, if we have a pass rush, you stop the run. That's what this team has to go back to looking like, right? Stop the run the ball, get your own play action, get the quarterback a little confidence. You have unbelievable playmakers on the offense. I mean, Otten and you should be that much better this year. You got your offensive weapons are as good as anybody in the league, and your defense should go back to playing that stop the run, blitz like crazy, come off the edges. Can Shaq Barrett come back and be Shaq Barrett? Like those kind of things.
Jake,
you go win that game in week one on the road against a playoff team and a team that's going to be vying for their division. That's a big ass win. I mean, to me, that is a hell of a way to start. Get ready for that. I'm not that worried about what the preseason looks like.
Agreed. Jake, I echo the same thing for both these guys. We saw him the other day. Shaq is an alien, bro. The way he's moving right now in camp, he should not be moving like that for somebody who just had a torn Achilles. Like,
I mean, it used to be a death sentence in your career.
Freak, bro. Ask Sammer. We saw him do that bend. You go around the ring. I mean, full speed, bro, dropping the cover. I'm like, who? What? How? Like you said, it used to be a career ender.
I saw the worst meme in the world the other day. Somebody mentioned 20 years ago. My mind went to like 1990, and then I realized they were talking about 2003, and I was like,
that hurts.
I need a nap. But when I played 2000, 2001, Achilles was still a death sentence. You didn't come back the same way, much less guys coming back 6-8 months. And it's almost like Tommy John. You come back faster. Like that thing is tighter. You look fine. Like it's not an
ACL was a 2-year injury sometimes too.
Yeah, it still kind of is, depending on running backs, especially. You guys know my thought on that, especially when it comes to fantasy with running backs. But like Dak should come back and be a monster. Gill really came on last year, looked good last week. You got guys. Tryon's got to step up and become an absolute beast.
Yaya looks good, bro. I like what they did in the draft.
Yaya looks good.
Yeah.
Yaya looks good.
Jake, you mentioned
preseason is coming out healthy.
You mentioned the running game, so I'm going to kind of shift a little bit now to the offense. You named all the weapons. Quarterback is kind of a question mark, but
Hall of Famer, bro. What do you expect?
Yeah, but the offensive line is kind of the one thing that everyone seems to be terrified of as a Bucs fan. Specifically the right side. I'm not too worried about Wirfs if he has some growing pains, if any, whatever. It is what it is. The Ryan Jensen story, not sure what's going on there. But in terms of the two guys on the right-hand side there with Malk and Gadecki, a lot of reaction last week to that preseason game. What do you need to see from them when you say, I want to see the running game in the preseason? Like, can they show you stuff that makes you comfortable, or is preseason still preseason like you're talking about?
I mean, preseason's still preseason. I mean, one of them's going to get their ass kicked by Quinton Williams next weekend, but so is every other guard in the league.
Yeah.
Like, Sammy from SoCal talking about the game against the Jets. I mean, that's anybody they play. That defensive line's a bitch. I'd like to see them hold their own. I'd like to see some toughness out of them. I want to see one of them have a little dog. You got to have that. One of your guards has got to be that dog. I mean, Jensen's that guy, but they got to take on that identity, right?
A little crazy.
We'll see which one of them does. I mean, Gedeke had a lot of growing pains last year. I think he could grow into something and learn from that, or could beat him down a little bit. And he's got to get his confidence back. Either way, that's all I want to see. Go out and compete your ass off. The only thing we could do is put the best guys out there possible. Salary cap is prohibitive to doing a lot of different things. At this point, these are the guys you got. They played fine last year. I mean, this Tom was not the same dude as 2 years ago where he should have been the MVP. He just wasn't, right? I mean, the offensive line was okay. They were good enough that he could have played a hell of a lot better. I think Baker could play, or Trask could play to 85%, 90% of what Tom was last year, or play as good. I really do. Tom was not great. We talked about that a ton, especially getting rid of the ball too fast. I mean, people are, how does Mike Evans go a half without being targeted? He plays outside, and all of his routes take longer than 2 seconds to develop, and Tom didn't hold the ball for 2 seconds. Like, it's not hard to figure out, guys.
How does your slowest running back out-target your 3 wide receivers combined?
Because the quarterback gets rid of the ball at half a second.
That's what I'm saying. That's a question. Like, how the fuck is that happening?
Well,
I think
I
Tom,
just told you it's not that hard to figure out. But like, so those guys are going to hold the ball. They're going to stand in the line of fire and make the. I don't know what this offense looks like. I don't know much about it. I know he was in Seattle for a long time, but that was 3 different coordinators he worked for. His first time calling plays. I mean, how's the flow going to be? Is he going to stick to the run? Are we going to get hot? Are we going to play action out of that? I mean, I think there's a lot of question marks. I don't know that he knows. He hasn't done it. So, figuring all that out, that's what I'm worried about the preseason. Like, get the flow, get used to it, get out healthy, go to Minnesota with a freaking healthy team, with a chip on your shoulder. Everybody's picking you to finish next to the damn Cardinals, who suck.
Bro,
I mean, dumpster fire sucks.
Picking in the top 3, bro. Everyone has
us. That defense, unless they have a ton of injuries, it doesn't matter who in the league is the quarterback. That team has still got a ton of talent to go win 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 games. 11 might be a stretch, but the quarterback, it all depends on how the quarterback plays and how healthy you stay. I mean, nobody can sustain injuries in today's NFL. We all know that.
I like how Canales started his play calling career in Tampa with 3 straight runs.
4.
Hey, I told you that it means
game number 1.
Preseason game number 1, and personally, I looked at it, Jake, and I was like, "This motherfucker's just trying to set the tone. This is what we're gonna do. We're gonna run the ball." Okay, cool. Whatever. I didn't think it was that big of a deal. Stanker was.
It's not a play call. Preseason not going out there game planning and calling plays, trying to beat. You're trying to put guys in these situations and see what they do, how they react, how they go up. Like, maybe they want to see Tristan Wirfs and these guys pushing on that run. They got to get everyone's feet wet. You want them to go out fucking shotgun 5 wide receivers on the first play of preseason thing? I mean, it was 4th down, and it was obvious that it was a run.
You got to make a statement, bro. That's what I was saying.
No.
Like, he's going to come out.
You got to make a statement in week 1 when it matters.
The Patriots never win preseason games.
They say, we want the ball. They kick off, and we go run, punt. Now you can say whatever the hell you want, because that is not nobody's scripting 3 straight runs to start the game.
Hey, Sam are having a beautiful
those weapons.
Me having a beautiful
no bootleg. By the way,
Jake owning Stank, a tradition like none other. I love it, bro. He comes out here, he just
own me.
Shut up.
Me. I agree. I agreed with him.
Little dick energy.
I agree with him about Tom being terrible last year, forgetting Mike Evans was even on the fucking team until the Carolina game where he's like, "Oh yeah, I forgot about that guy," and he threw for like, fucking 500 yards. Mike had 302 touchdowns. Yeah, fuck that guy.
I'll tell you what I'm looking forward to most of this offense that I hope I see that Tom would not do and couldn't do.
Rollouts.
Is some stretch, some boots, some nakeds, get the quarterback, especially with Baker, get him in the flat, get him on the move. You guys know I'm not a big quarterback run guy, but move the pocket. If the offensive line's not playing great, he's not a statue standing back there. You can run some naked, you can run some boots, you can get him on the flat, you can run some different screens that way. Who's going to be that third receiver? Steps up. The Gage is healthy. Those kind of things. Like, that's, to me, that's the exciting part about saying, okay, we could have some nuances we did not have for 3 years. We could not have, period. Like, that was not going to be an option, especially last year. I'm excited to see that.
A lot of stuff.
Gage better watch his back, though.
Gage preseason.
Yep, Gage better watch his back.
Trey,
the real Tampa Bay Trey, the real one, the one we all care about, He's coming for that number 3 spot.
He's a stud.
Trey Palmer looked good, dog.
Yeah.
He's a stud.
He does look good. He looks really good. I mean,
Did you hear what he said, Jake?
After Gage looked last year, and then he tore that hamstring, whatever it was, against the Dolphins practicing, and it lingered all year. He played through it, but he wasn't the same guy. If he's healthy, and Trey's going to be that good, you got 4, and a tight end we all really like.
You still got little ass 83 too.
Is that going to be an H-back? How's that going to look? But I hope they save all of that stuff for week 1 and don't show any of the quarterbacks.
Stank needs to see all of it now. I was going to say.
Did you see the tight end though, real quick? The Payne Durham, the one we drafted, Jake. Did you see him?
No.
The highlight from practice yesterday or before yesterday. He's a dude. He's one of us. He scored a touchdown, reached down, got his cleat, opened the beer, and then chugged the football. He's a dude, bro. Right there. That's it. That's it. He's a fucking guy.
Hey, Nancy Best asks, why isn't Walford QB2? Listen, last night I was at the cream school. No, and I had a few beers and I went out to check on my car and I went behind the Armature Works building as I'm walking up and Walford and his girl are walking in.
Oh shit.
I forgot his name, bro. And I was like, you're QB, you're the backup QB. And he was like, yeah.
Holy stank. Jesus.
And then I was like, I heard you on a podcast and you're smart. And then he's like, yeah, dude. And he walked away. I swear to God, you could ask him, bro. It was the most awkward fucking
He said that to you?
Oh, no. I said it to him.
He said it
I said it to him when he was walking.
Who the fuck Stank was? Come on.
Yeah, bro.
Stank,
hey, I don't know about that.
Latte.
This drunk dude with a really jacked up beard just talking to me from a girl right now.
Whoa, bro.
Latte knows. If Latte and myself are not next to you, no one recognizes who you are. Like, if you saw a bunch of cream without the 2 Oreo pieces, you wouldn't. Oh, that's a nice, delicious cookie. You wouldn't think that's
really
part of a delicious
quarterback
cookie.
3 to his face.
You did.
No, I stumbled over it, bro. I was like, you should be a starting quarterback or something. It was really bad, bro. It was extremely bad. And listen.
Oh, shit.
And drunk, too.
John, full screen. John Walford, I'm sorry. I was inappropriate. I was disrespectful.
Bro, the best part, Jake, is legitimately, for real. He's like, dude, I went to the game. Nobody, like, it's weird. Every time we go to the game, somebody's like, hey, Stank. He's like, nobody. We're like, dude, they don't recognize you without us. And then he goes to the creamsicle thing, and everyone that took a picture of them was to send it to us. Where are you guys at?
Where are you guys?
Where are you guys?
Pretty bad, man. Pretty bad.
Go back out. Can we answer the question?
Yes.
Because Baker's your starter, Trask a 2nd-round pick, and been there 3 years, and Walford's a nothing free agent journeyman who, yeah, he's smart and he played 1 good game for the Rams. Like,
It's trash, dude.
it's not the competition. Like, you're not going to.
But he knows the offense.
There's no backup there. Huh?
He does know the offense better than Trask.
That's probably why he looks a little crisper and sharper, but doesn't mean he's better.
Savant, but
you can tell he didn't give a fuck in that game. He was just like, I'm going to step back. I'm going to throw it wherever. Does not matter. Not like I'm making the team anyway. Fuck it.
It's amazing when you get to play loose.
He's going to make the team, but, like, yeah, you guys, who do I fear the most when we play somebody? The Mike Whites of the world.
Yeah.
Guys with a shitload of talent that are gunslingers, and they might throw a couple picks or they might throw for 550 and 4 touchdowns on you, but they play with nothing to lose. That is a hard guy to prepare for. In the preseason game, if you go out there and play with nothing to lose against a bunch of 3s and 4s, I get nothing from that.
UPS players, you mean?
Nothing. So
Wow.
I don't know. He's a dude. He ain't Blaine Gabbert.
Listen. Is Blaine Gabbert QB1 if he's still on this roster, Jake?
So sad to see him.
Did you see Blaine cooking? And I was like, damn, dude, throwing bombs.
Cooking the Saints.
I think he's in the mix for sure.
Oh, wow. Hey, listen, his
But
thighs are easily the most
big
glorious
Blaine
thighs
fan,
I've ever
but
seen on a man.
not learning a new offense again. Blaine being in year 6 of that offense. Yeah, I think he's in the mix for sure.
We're talking 14 wins is what we're going here.
I think we're in the same position we'd be in with any of the 3 guys we're talking about. And that's hoping
7 and 11.
Hopefully we can get in and one of them gets hot and we stay healthy.
Jake, I predicted 14 wins, and the only reason we even don't get the 15th win is because we sit our starters in the last week of the season, right? So me and you are not talking the same language here yet. You'll get there.
We are not.
You'll get there.
We are not.
You'll get there when we're 5-0. You'll get there. Don't worry.
If we start the season, if we're 4-0 going into the bye,
Trask might as well pack up and make that cooking career fucking full.
Let's hope we start 1-0, and everybody gets a little confidence and we stay healthy.
I got to mention this. I forgot pre-shows and I mentioned it. Jake, do you have any idea where we're going? Because we bring it up every show. Do you have any idea where we're going this year, Jake?
Where we're going?
Yeah, Loose Cannon Travel Crew.
I do not.
Oh, Jake, I just want to see his face. That's going to determine how much pain I'm going to be in. We're going to Green Bay December 17th. Jake? Oh, shit.
It's either way, it'll be one of the greatest experiences of your life.
That's why we want to do it.
The place is spectacular. The fans are so nice and so educated that it's weird. They literally will invite you over for cheese curds and beer to their house and open their living room to you as the visiting team just to say good game.
Didn't you get a standing ovation? You got a standing ovation in the bar you guys walked into, right? They were like literally.
We went to that NFC Championship game. And we went there the day before. We ran into Dev, and he didn't say hi. We go back the next morning to pregame.
He was scared.
We go back the next morning to pregame, and it's packed. And only 7,000 people can go in the game. So we go back to the same bar afterwards. And we met a bunch of people that morning. We're talking shit. There's only 5 of us wearing red. It wasn't that hard to figure out what was going on. We walked back in afterwards, and they literally started clapping and said, go represent the NFC in the Super Bowl. Like, can we buy you a beer? And I'm like, I'm walking in ready to fight. And everywhere else I've ever been in my life, like you're on the road. You know, Shelby's a freaking Raiders fan. So, like, you know, we've been to some stuff. It was but the place, the museum is unbelievable. The stadium's unbelievable. The fans are phenomenal. Like, it is awesome. Now, it could be -40 in freaking December, or it could be like the NFC Championship game, which was like 26 in flurries. It was balmy. It was kind of nice for there, but it's going to be cold.
I want -40.
You played in Buffalo too, Jake. So you know cold.
We're going to both those games. We're going to Buffalo too. Thursday Night Football.
Green Bay is a different kind of. Well, they're both bad, man. Like, Buffalo has wind that nobody else has. The lake effect is bad when it's like Cleveland, one lake. Buffalo has 2 lakes: Lake Erie, Lake Ontario, Niagara Falls, and then Orchard Park is like the triangle of death, I call it, because they're coming off both. That's why it drops 80 inches in 36 hours. But it's windy every day. And the way that stadium sits, it just sucks. But, man, Green Bay is a special place to go watch a game.
Are we doing it the right way? Because what Sammer is thinking, I said, listen, if we're going to go, you got to go to the frozen tundra when it's you want to.
No, you don't want to go there in September.
Yeah,
you want to go when it's like you think you're going to a Browns game because half of them are wearing like hunting orange to stay warm because they don't care about colors at that point. It's like, hey, let's go grab the coveralls and put them on because it's cold as hell. But I mean, you look around and you go back to you guys. I'm a big football historian, so not NFL, but before the NFL was the NFL, when it was the NFL and AFC, whatever. And you go look around why they call it Title Town, and you see how many freaking championships are around that ring. It's just a special place. Go get there early. Go to the museum.
Oh no, we're doing the stadium tour in the museum and everything.
I'd love to go when they were tailgating. I mean, it was so weird to go to the NFC Championship game with 7,000 people.
Yeah,
people walking everywhere. It was a Packers game, but it was like, it's COVID year. It was just weird. But you guys will have an absolute blast, man.
Hey, Latte, real quick before we go any further, did you read PNP's?
I did not.
Chat.
I did not. The super chat. You want to read it? Go ahead.
He said, me and the Power Ginger Chuck are stuck on the 15th tee box in a storm watching the pod right now. Tell us why Baker will be the Bucs' offensive MVP this year.
Well,
played your computer.
PP, what up?
It could be Rashad White.
Wait it out.
Team.
I mean, it could be a bunch of guys, right? But I think your starting quarterback has a chance. I mean, if we're going to win 10 games, the quarterback's got to play well.
Yeah.
That's got to be a thing. And I think he's got a chance to do it. For sure. I think the biggest thing for him to win the MVP is he's got to play 17 games.
I think he will.
Got to stay healthy enough to do that.
Yeah. I think he will. And because it kind of ties into what King Cook's asking in the chat. Hey, fellas, question. When the Baker's interceptions start to go up, at any point do we go to Trask or just ride out the Bake train? Pause.
If he's playing like shit and throwing picks, yeah, you got a chance to go to Trask. Yeah. I mean, the guy's got to play well. He's got to stay healthy. I think a lot of that stuff comes down because he's not trying to force a lot of things. We get a little bit of a run game. We get a little bit of a play-action game. He gets a little confidence. Go back to what I said earlier about he can get some magic early and get that swaggy Bake back. He's throwing around, running sidelines. That's going to change everything. If he struggles early with a new offense and a new play caller and those kind of things, yeah, I think you can see both guys. If he gets hurt and Trask comes in and plays well, I don't know that he gets the job back. But I also don't think we're getting to 10 wins if that's the case because you're going back and forth on quarterbacks. You got no continuity. That's a bad deal. I think it all comes down to him playing good early and staying healthy. He's healthier than, from what I've heard, he's healthier than he's been like 3 years.
Yeah, they also keep saying the same thing all the players do, from the offensive line all the way to the skill guys. No offense to the offensive linemen, obviously. That this offense caters to everyone's skills and lets everyone kind of make plays and gets the ball out of the quarterback's hands in a way that these guys can just take it and run with it, pun intended. So I feel like you put a guy like Baker in that scenario, and then you got all these weapons, and he doesn't have to be the guy like he was in Cleveland, where he had to kind of shoulder a lot of it. He didn't have these guys. He's never had weapons like these. You put them together with that, it's like, dude, just don't fuck up and just let all these guys make these plays. Especially Mike Evans, never been that open. That one play that was a wide receiver screen or a running back screen on Friday night, he had a guy wide open. It just makes the offense makes its own plays. It doesn't. You don't have to force the issue, and you don't have to rely so much on individual talents to get open all the time. And that's not taking a shot at what we had before, but that's just a different approach to offensive football, and it probably caters a little bit better now that we don't know what's going to happen on the offensive line.
It's easier said than done, and it's more hyperbole than anything else. The biggest reason is because you defend us differently now. Mm-hmm. Everybody just played 2-man under and kept everything within 12 yards of the line of scrimmage because they knew the ball was coming out in the second half and the quarterback can't run. Really what it comes down to is you have to defend us differently now, which allows the guys to have running right after the catch. You got guys you can get the ball out of your hands in space, that kind of thing. If you're playing cover 2 and you got the 15-yard dig and you can hold it long enough to throw that, you can't just play us in the same way that everybody played us last year for sure. But the year before that, it was hard. When you go back to the Rams playing us, everybody's within 12 yards and nobody moves. The corners don't even drop. It's hard to go 80 yards on anybody and do that. I mean, so yes, it sounds good. That's preseason talk at its finest. This allows everybody, whatever. But I think the biggest reason why it looks like that is how you're going to defend us. If Baker can get out of the pocket, we can run some naked, some boots. He can run and scramble for 10, 12 yards, which he's damn capable of doing. That changes how you defend us. Now you got to be more multiple on defense. You got to try different things. And you should be able to see more space open up for some guys running after the catch. We made it really hard on ourselves last year with Tom being the way that he played, how fast he got rid of the ball, and the fact that he couldn't move at all. It was really easy to defend us at times.
There was no play action. There was no rollout. Tom wasn't doing that. He didn't want to turn his back to the defense.
Shaq said the exact same thing.
That's not by anybody. I'm just what I saw on the fucking TV. He didn't want to do it.
Jake, are you not a Stefanski guy? I know he when Sammer mentioned that Bakes never played an offense like this. I felt like they had a pretty damn good thing when Stefanski got there.
I said he hasn't played with weapons like these.
He's weapons like this.
Played in an offense like this. It's not where he doesn't have to kind of.
Yeah, the hell of a running game. I mean, it was different. But,
to your point, Stank, I am a Stefanski guy. I think he's really good. But the best year he had was under Freddie Kitchens in BA's offense. That's the year they really lit it up and looked fantastic. They were okay with Stefanski, and you're going to see, I think Stefanski in this offense probably very similar. You see the quarterback on the move. You see some rolls. You see a big running game. But to Sammer's point, he hasn't played with weapons like this. They just got to stay healthy.
Right.
And when you can move the pocket, if the offensive line is not great, the problem with a traditional quarterback in the way Tom played last year is the pocket has to be good for him to hold it long enough to throw it anywhere.
All the time.
Well, if the offensive line is not great, you can move the quarterback a little bit. You can do some different stuff to, finagle that pocket and give him some space, do some things to take a little bit longer for a play to develop. Like I said, that's what I'm looking forward to the most, is seeing what they do, how creative they get with the quarterback being on the move.
Jake, what were your thoughts of the day on what Mike said? They asked him about who he thinks the best receiver in the league is, and he's like, I picked me. Like, I get double more than anybody. I look at the numbers. Clearly, obviously, the Hall of Fame talk came up then, and we talked to, oh my God, he works for the Buccaneers, Scott Smith. He was like, every receiver that has 90 touchdowns and more than 10,000 yards.
Mike's the first ballot.
I think he's first ballot. I think he should be first ballot, but I think, the underappreciation and shit, it's stupid.
Shit, he ain't done. Has there been any drop off in Mike in 9 years?
No.
Not yet.
No.
I don't see any coming this year.
And so from all accounts, from everyone, all the reporters, everybody, Mike has been the best player at camp this offseason.
If Steve Smith is a Hall of Famer, then Mike Evans is a first ballot Hall of Famer with a bust bigger than Steve Smith standing next to him. Like, Steve Smith's a great player.
Isn't I heard like they're Jordy Nelson's name coming up right now, bro.
No, bro.
No, I swear.
No,
because he's eligible.
Okay, well, I'm just saying.
There's 500 guys that have been out of the league
Hall
for
of
5 years.
Fame and Jordy Nelson on my TV the other day. I was like,
you need to learn to read the entire sentence, and you probably
I don't like to read. First of all, okay.
Anyway,
I don't think you can.
So, anyways, Mike is a first ballot Hall of Famer, which he's
Man, I saw it.
Yeah,
underappreciated nationally.
He plays through everything. You can count on him to be there all the time. He's a superstar, but he's maybe one of the most underrated guys in the last 15 years, last 50 years. I mean, I don't know. He doesn't get anywhere near the appreciation. Like, I love Brandon Marshall's post not that long ago, talking about absolute dog receivers in the league. He was, how the hell did you forget about Mike Evans?
Well, look at the quarterbacks he did it under too. Look at the damn quarterbacks that he did it under. It's
not just that thing, but what those quarterbacks and teammates have to say about him.
Yeah,
as well, which goes a long way. I mean, look at what Baker's like. I've never seen anything like it.
But I think some of that, though, is to that point, is that he's so unselfish and he's not all about himself. He's not a me first guy like a lot of those guys are, that it kind of removes that spotlight naturally on top of things. So it's like you don't think about Mike because Mike's not out there pounding his chest, which kind of works against him. Nope, doesn't make a lot of Pro Bowls.
He doesn't have that diva.
Yeah.
That diva receiver, it does work against him, Sam. I agree 100%. I mean, you saw for the first time in his career being like frustrated on the sidelines last year.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Right? He was open.
Yeah.
It
came off the sidelines.
And he still had a 1,000-yard season. Like, I mean, the guy just puts up numbers. Now, he does get doubled more than everybody else. If Chris Godwin's healthy and Gage is healthy and you're running the ball, go back to what I was saying earlier. Now, how do you defend us? I think there's a chance he sees more single coverage.
You think
were we playing somebody that has the balls to man up and go on? I don't know. Without rolling safeties and stuff that way. It'll be really interesting to see.
Do you think the streak continues?
Huh?
Hell yeah.
Do you think the streak continues?
Yeah, absolutely.
He's healthy.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's 100% him being healthy.
And he's got a chip on his shoulder. I saw him at practice the other day. I go, Mike, how are you getting older? You are getting thinner. You're getting faster and you're getting better. And he looks at me, he goes, because I'm different.
Just like that, right?
Just
no
like
smile,
that.
No nothing.
I know, Mike. I know.
Hey, no, he's sunned him, bro. He's literally talking to Jaden, and Saber asked him that. He literally just turns, because I'm different, and just turns back. So Jaden, like Saber wasn't even there, bro. I was like, damn.
I think awesome. Mike's at that point in your career too, where you see you're past the middle. The twilight's not that far away. What is the legacy? You're mature, you're married, you got kids, you got your outside interests taken care of, you've made your money. What does it come back to at that point? It gets back to how you eat, how you sleep, how you train, how you recover, how you stay healthy. That puts up the numbers to go back to the legacy thing. I think he goes back to looking at it and going, I got 3 more, I get to 12 straight 1,000 yards. That might never be broken. That's insane. But I think he sees that and he has it in him. So you go back to, do I want to eat like shit tonight or do I want to eat good tonight and keep this going? I think you learned a lot from Tom when it comes to that, of taking care of your body, hydration, different stuff, how to train, how to recover. I think that's why you've seen him leaner, faster, better. And his whole thing is staying healthy, man. As long as he didn't tweak an ankle or hamstring, whatever it is, those kind of things that bothered him in the past. If he could start the season healthy and Chris is healthy, I mean, I think the sky's the limit for both of them.
I think it's
talk about an underrated guy. I don't think Chris nearly gets enough.
No. And everybody's saying he's back to form. He's back.
They're Super Bowl champions, and nobody talks about him.
Nope. I mean, no. And Chris is a guy, run after the catch guy that's built more like a running back. I think the knee, going back to what I always say about ACLs, it's easier for a receiver. But I think year 2, I think he's fully healthy now. Like last year, it's going to be up and down. You're going to have some swelling in that thing. You got to clean it up. You got to take some time off. He should be good to go and be 100%. Well, you need both of them. You need 5 guys coming out of this camp healthy. And we were deep last year, and we still went to times where there's like nobody to run routes. We were winning games with Cyril Grayson, who I love, who really came on, but like he was 8th on the depth chart at one point. He's winning games for us late in the year. I mean, it's,
Julio Jones started a game for us last year.
Several.
It says a lot.
Yeah.
He's made some good catches. I still don't believe that guy actually played for the Bucs.
Hey, Stank, draft him in fantasy again.
Yes. I think Stank's going to draft Brandon Marshall again, too.
Why do you think Jordy Nelson was up on my phone, bro? I was looking at it.
I got 2 for Jake. One's a statement and one is a question. The statement is, I want Mike to be Larry, bro. And I mentioned that to you because you lived it. You saw him play. Your dad coached him. I want him to retire the way Larry he was always going to be a Cardinal. So I hope that happens. I hope they find a way to extend him and he's here for the rest of his career.
The question is, he'll retire before he leaves here, dude.
The question is, let's see, Jay. The question is, his ADP is like the 7th, 8th round. And I'm asking you because I know you're a fantasy guy like me. That's a little late, right?
It's insane. It all depends on. I mean, the Tom Brady name is still affecting everything on this team this year.
Yep.
The Tom Brady from 3 years ago winning the Super Bowl, 2 years ago should have been the MVP. Got all the credit for last year when he was not that guy. Is now nobody can live up to that. These guys can't play to 80-90% of that level. Yeah, they can.
They did before.
And those are the guys outside to do it. I mean, if he's in the 7th round, I've got a hell of a bench spot for a number 2 receiver. Yeah, like he should be a number 1. I just don't know how many targets they're going to get. I think the other part of this is, what does this offense look like? Are they really going to run the ball as much as they say they're going to run it? You have a head coach who wants to run the ball, play defense, play close games, win close games. Is that going to be the identity of this team? If that is, then you're going to have less targets.
You got your answer. 3 straight runs. That's how it started. That's what I'm expecting. Lots of carries. It's just going to be back to Dungy ball.
Oh, boy. Oh, boy.
You know, when you say stuff like that, that's you telling.
Dungy ball. I miss BA already. Jesus.
That's you saying to Dave Canales' face, or Dave Cajone's face, that he's an idiot. That's what you're saying.
I like the guy, bro. I like him.
Don't call him an idiot.
I didn't say he was an idiot. I just said it's going to be a little
ball is idiotic.
A little conservative, just a little bit conservative.
I don't know, man. I don't think so.
Okay. He's not the head coach, guys. The head coach determines what the coordinator is going to do. If he doesn't like what's going on, he tells them to do this instead. Like, it's first-time play caller. Todd's going to have some influence, and Todd wants the identity of the team to be what he wants it to be. He is the head coach. So
Todd wants to win.
If that's the case, then yeah, but his red zone targets are going to be there. Baker throws a really good fade at the goal line.
Bro.
He's still going to have some play action shots where he's going deep. I think he's fine, but I don't think he's not a 100 catch guy anyway. He's not Justin Jefferson that's going to have 15 targets a game. He's going to have 6. Can he go for 5, 120 and 2 touchdowns? Yeah, we've seen it a million times. Can he go for 2 and 12? Yeah, we've seen that too. He gets doubled. It depends on who you're playing. But no, I mean, I think the fantasy guys are going to whiff on that. I've seen Godwin as low as like 4th, 5th round ADP.
Yeah.
Like, you're getting some really good players on this offense late. And when you're talking about fantasy stuff.
Well, speaking of fantasy and other guys on this, what do you think of Rashad White? He's the guy that kind of.
I think he's a superstar. I think he proved it last year. He just needs more damn carries. He needs to be the guy. He needed to be the guy last year. And when he was a freaking stud. Year 2, now knows what to expect. Had an offseason to get his body right. You guys got to think, man, that year of playing college football, going to all-star games, going to the combine, going to the draft, going to mini camp, it never stops. There is no you're training your ass off, but it's not the same thing as a true offseason, letting your body rest, build it back up, get back in. He saw what, professional nutrition is like, all those kind of things. I think he's going to be an absolute stud.
I agree. All you got to do is
watch the ball so well. You can use them so many different ways, especially when you're talking about getting the quarterback on the move. It's not just a traditional screen or him running out and be a dump off guy. I mean, I think fantasy-wise, he's going to be a freak because he's going to catch a ton of balls, but I think he's going to be really productive for the Bucs as a whole.
That game-winning touchdown, that route that he ran against the Saints was ridiculous. That's better than some receivers, man. I mean, just clean.
And that's why they liked him so much. I mean, my dad described him as David Johnson, but way more explosive.
I see Le'Veon Bell.
Very, very high praise. Yeah, but he's more explosive than Le'Veon Bell.
Wow.
I mean, Le'Veon was 240.
He
got down to 215 and 220 to play in the NFL. He caught a lot of passes, but it wasn't a lot of explosive stuff. Rashad's more explosive, especially coming out of his break than Le'Veon Bell.
He just glides like Le'Veon, and he got the
taller guy, kind of built the same way. Yeah.
He just looks like he's never impatient, and at any moment, once he puts his foot down, you got an explosive right there.
I love the Edmonds. I love the Edmonds signing too, by the way. I mean,
he looked good the other night too.
In Arizona and watched his career out here, how much the coaching staff really liked him here. Had 2 places last year he didn't fit. I think he's a very nice compliment. Catches the ball really well. Has some 250-yard rushing games for the Cardinals. He's a solid player if he's healthy and can be the same guy he was a couple years ago. I love that sign.
He actually wanted to be here last year, but the numbers didn't work out. So they ended up getting him for a lot cheaper now. And again, him and Rashad working together, complementary. And then we also got
Sean Tucker.
Sean Tucker looks like a fucking steal of a guy. If he is fully healthy and looks like he can add another dimension, he's fast and he's got.
I know unpopular right now, Sammer. I know unpopular right now, but I think Pless did a little breakdown. Vaughn didn't have a horrible game. A lot. Some of his runs got called back over some bullshit that weren't even holding.
If you're a Bucs fan and you still got questions on Keyshawn Vaughn, you didn't watch last year when he got a chance to play. He proved to you he could play. He's not the same guy as those first two the way he catches it. But he made some catches in that Jets game. He made some catches when it mattered. He's a better runner, pure runner, than two of the three. Maybe not Rashad because he's so different. But he's solid. He's a solid guy. He's a damn good special teams player. Like, leave him alone. Like, he proved to you last year he's fine.
Before that, he proved it. But before that, Jake, he proved it in that Eagles playoff game where we destroyed the Eagles. He played unbelievably well.
80-yard touch. Was it Panthers? He had like an 80-yard touchdown. He fucking took off.
Yeah, I mean, it was, J.K. Dobbins was after him, who can't catch it all, has had ACL and hardly played. Yes, he was really good in offense with a quarterback, runs all over the place, and you can't really compare the two guys. So I get why there were some comparisons for the draft nuts out there. But he's been a damn solid player. He's a solid backup. If he has to play for you, you've seen it. You now know he can go in and do it. You got a nice depth of guys. I like that three of them are very similar. Edmonds and Rashad, Edmonds is smaller. They catch it very similar. Like, they catch it really well. You can do a lot of different stuff. Who's going to be the guy that steps up and has the balls to protect the quarterback?
Yeah, somebody got run over.
Why Lenny played a lot. When we were worried about some of that stuff was Lenny. Ronald Jones wouldn't pick up the blitz. Lenny did. We still got to have that guy that protects quarterback's ass.
I think
and
Rashad
knows
takes his job
where to
so
be.
I think Rashad's taken his job so seriously in this offseason that's probably been something that he's like, all right, I got to do this as an NFL player. I've got to be able to do these, and this is one of those things. And I see him being that guy.
That's not how tough of a guy you are. It's how smart of a guy you are.
Smart, yeah.
Are you seeing the blitz? If you know you have to jump that route ahead of time to catch this guy coming off the edge, you don't have to stand there and man up and take a defensive end in the face. Just make him run around you. Buy the quarterback that much longer of a time to get rid of the ball. That's all being smart, knowing the nuances, doing your study and team you're playing. Are they X-blitzing up the middle with both middle linebackers? They run an extra guy off the edge. You got to know where to be if you're going to play on third down as a running back. I think Rashad did enough of that last year, and he looked really good when he did it. And it wasn't those – you guys think Ronald Jones should have been so good at times. It was an unbelievable at times. But what did he do? He either fumbled and had a catastrophic turnover, or he whiffed a damn blitz pickup. Every game that you're counting on him to do something, there was one thing that stood out in your mind. You went, damn, that wasn't the case last year. I don't think that's the case this year. But those guys, they got to be in there and be smart enough. And I think all three of them have done it. And they've all played enough now that they should be able to pick that stuff up and be fine.
They're comfortable, yeah.
Jake, what did you make of how Devin White handled himself this offseason? What do you make of Devin White, period, going forward here on this team?
Immaturity. These guys just don't get it. Social media, I'm going to take all this shit off my social media and I'm going to hold out. And the head coach says, no, we're not trading your ass. Sorry. Get your ass to camp. Like, you signed a contract as a fifth-year option. They picked up whatever. I think they have to pay him because he's good enough. Is he good enough to be what they're going to have to pay him? I don't think so. I don't know that he's a $100 million guy.
Is it because of his position or just in general?
What other positions are you going to play?
No, I'm just saying.
No, you mean like the off linebacker. Like,
yeah, does that position warrant too much money? Is my point.
There's guys that just got $100 million that earned it. Roquan, some of those guys that are close to that. He hasn't been that guy. He hasn't been that consistent. He needs to be this year. He hasn't been Levante. He hasn't been the best linebacker on our team, has he? Since he's been in the league?
No.
Levante is more consistent, more reliable, maybe not as explosive, but he's there.
He's there.
Joe Thomas said it. My team is going to rely on me. You can rely on 54 every game.
And Devin has been explosive. He's been exciting. He blitzes really well. I'd love to see him get back to some of the stuff we used him as early in his career, just blitzing like crazy. But he's got to be better covering guys. If we're gonna use him to do that, he's got to be better at it. He got better last year than he was 2 years ago at that kind of stuff. But he still needs that get back. He played better as a rookie than he did, I think, the last 2 years.
We got a super chat, Jake, from LDBC's Most Wanted. 499 super chat says, "Saludos, fellas. How soon can we get a BA and Light statues at Ray J? Light does not get enough credit for his scouting and drafting."
The whole team up front, yeah.
BA
he built a hell of a team before BA got there, and then the combination put it over the top.
It's been lethal.
If there was a damn statue at $1 of some people that will remain nameless, then those two need some bronze and some pewter going on, some statues somewhere.
It needs to have a glass cigar, though.
Yeah.
I need a Devin's one where Lattimore's like on the ground, like a dead body behind him, just catching the bomb. I need that one too. Right outside Ray.
You know what's insane about that?
BA needs a cigar in his mouth. But every morning one of the people who work at One Buck has to be first one in and has to actually light it to kind of start the day at One Buck. Every
I thought you were gonna say,
single
Like the Olympic fire? Like you
Yes.
like the Olympic every day?
Just
Olympic
like the
torch
torch.
with the
Just
cigar.
like the torch.
I
And
fucking
Tim has-
like
just like that, and someone's got to light it. All right, we can all work today. And if it never goes out,
Nah, dog, you got it wrong, bro. I don't want this. I want him with a plastic cup in one hand,
whatever. However,
water.
no,
And
not
then-
water.
No, definitely not water.
He's hydrating, but it ain't water. There you go. So yeah, he's going to show us exactly what's going to be in that thing, and it should be actually. It should have it in it too. It should be in the statue's fake statue cup. What were you going to say, Stank? Before I cut you off.
Pour it in there.
Oh, you guys or Latte mentioned Lattimore, and Saints fans come at me all day long. It's really entertaining. One of the Saints fan posted some stats. I didn't realize that Mike Evans only has 11 targets in 3 years against Lattimore. Like they've only targeted him 3 times or 11 times.
Well, Jacob says that all the time, bro. He goes out there and runs tracks sometimes and eliminates
Right,
the best defender if you need to do it.
That's not his fault.
First of all, Lattimore's a damn stud. He's a really good player. Mike's a damn stud and a really good player.
Yes.
No, Jake. No, fuck Lattimore.
Their defense has been really damn good.
No.
Has Mike gotten the better of him? Yeah, there's some really ugly plays where he left his ass and he's laying there on the ground like Poppy's talking about. And they've had all their stupid after the whistle bullshit. But, I wouldn't say either one of them has won the battle that much. Mike's got bigger plays than Lattimore picking him off and running pick six the other way because Mike screwed up. Mike's dusted his ass one-on-one and left him laying there more than once. But he's a good player. That's why he wasn't targeted that much, and their defense is really good. So, I mean, there's a little bit to it. But Mike's
never covered, bro. And Tom was scared to throw him the ball.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's what we saw from Tom from the first year he got here. Is if you roll coverage and make him see something pre-snap, and then he's determined that he's not going to go that way after the snap, you can roll back. He's not going to look back again. And I think they did that a lot with Mike Evans. Oh, look, let's take away Mike pre-snap, and then we'll just roll and cover everyone else and make it. Tom's not going to look back at it, and so that worked against Mike. Doesn't mean he was covered.
Say what you want about Jameis, but that motherfucker would throw the ball to Mike.
Didn't give a shit,
throw
dude.
the ball to Mike.
He did not care.
Shit, bro. He's out there somewhere. Fuck it.
Yeah.
Fuck it.
If Cutter or BA said this is a Mike play, he's like, absolutely, sir. Yes, sir. It will be a Mike play. Yes, sir. Yeah, Mike's on the ground. Throw it anyway. It's a Mike play. That's
even
all
when
saying.
it's not a Mike play, it's a fucking Mike play. I'm gonna do a
It's a Mike
360
play,
and push
baby.
that bitch.
That goes back to Mike's greatness, though, right? He played for how many years in an offense where he was basically just a jump ball like gimmick play almost all the time.
Basketball player, bro.
And he still fucking dominated and put up with that. Mike Glennon, dude. That's all you have to say to his Hall of Fame, to get him in the Hall of Fame. Ira Kaufman has to stand up there and say, Mike Evans played with Mike Glennon. Vote him in. No, sorry.
We're
so sorry.
The only thing you should have to say to get him in the Hall of Fame is Mike Evans. You don't have to go any farther.
Mike Evans.
By the time he's done, those 2 words will put him in the Hall of Fame.
Mike fucking Evans. Okay.
Hey, he did that.
He emphatic F in there as well, but yes, just Mike Evans is going to get him in. He's a stud.
He legit did that for Derrick Brooks. He walked into the room and his presentation was, ladies and gentlemen, Derrick Brooks. Just that's it. Like, what the fuck else you want me to say?
Brooksy's numbers are absolutely
Derrick Brooks
to this day insane, mind-boggling. You can go back to the Devin White conversation.
Yes.
First round superstar linebackers. I think Levante is 1B to Derrick. He's had that kind of career for the Bucs. Devin has not had that same kind of, had some super impactful plays, had some moments where he got in that stretch that he was trying too hard there for a while and overrunning stuff, and it was killing us. He needs to have that kind of year. If he's going to stay around, they're going to give him that kind of money. I mean, it'll be interesting to see what he is, but he's not that yet.
Well, we've had guys that come in the league, Jake, and they get to that year where they've got to prove it. They play phenomenal. They got a lot of motivation. Once they get the money, they kind of lax a little bit, and all of a sudden, it's not the same. Like, is there? That's my concern. I could see him having his best year ever, but then I could also see, all right, I got what I got the ring, and then just kind of taking the foot off the pedal. Now you're fucked. And I that seems like more often is what happens. You pay, you get after the guy's finally showed up, and then all of a sudden then you know you're trying to figure out a way to get out of the contract 2 years later.
Yeah, I'm big on guys at contract years. Going back to fantasy stuff. I mean, one thing I look at is like Dalvin Cook,
Josh Jacobs,
a 1-year deal because my ACL guy Breece Hall is not going to be healthy most of the year, and they know that he's getting paid again. He ain't 30 yet. Dalvin's still young enough to get another 2 or 3 year deal with some big time money and show it. I mean, I love guys in that situation. Saquon Barkley, coming off a monster year, they didn't want to pay him. He's sitting there. Josh Jacobs, when he comes to camp, pay me. These running backs got something to prove because they're not getting paid. And I guess it is against them. But Devin's the same way. But go back to what I said earlier about Mike getting into the middle to the twilight of your career. And Devin would be in the middle if he got paid, right? What do I want this to look like? I got the ring. I got the bag. I'm set. How do I want this to look? Am I Quan Alexander that played here for 4 years and bounced around the league, whatever, because I got paid? Or am I Levante and Derek Brooks and I play here for 12 years and that's my legacy? And I figure this out and I become a little bit better player, a little more consistent player than I've been in the past. He's got all the ability in the world to do that. He's a great kid. Grow up a little bit. Stop living as one of these under 25 kids that I can't tell you what the hell they think about anything. Grow up a little bit, live more like Levante, and be that kind of guy. I mean, I think he's at that point. But to your point, Sammer, could he get paid? Could he get the bag and then fall off? Happens all the time. I don't know if he's that kind of guy or not. He's got a big time competitive streak. He's been healthy for the most part. He's out there. He's countable. And you count on him. Go back to your Joe Thomas point, Poppy. But he's got to be there and he got to perform.
Well, we know the head coach loves him.
Oh, yeah.
There's a lot to love. I mean, guys that run 3 that play in the middle, they don't grow on trees. He's got as much talent as anybody in the league playing that position.
Speaking of speed, Jake, Jeremy Lowe wants to know, and you gave your opinion during the draft. I wasn't here for that, but I listened to it. Amazing. Jeremy Lowe wants to know, what are your thoughts on Kancey from what you saw? Obviously, college, he hasn't been able to play in camp and stuff because of the calf strain. But I know you talked about him during the draft, his get off and stuff, his quickness.
Yeah, he's an explosive guy that can get it done. But you got to be healthy, and you got to get. I mean, the old saying, "You can't make the club in the tub." You're gonna make the club because you're a draft pick.
First round pick, yeah.
But get healthy and get on the field. Learn the nuance of the NFL game. The speed is different. I think he's got a lot of talent. There's going to be some plays for him, but you got to get the comfortability with the quarterback. He has to have it with you. Are you going? Those 12 personnel, 2 tight end packages. All those different things that go along with it. You got to be out there to be able to be a part of it. I think it could be a long year if he doesn't get out there soon and get healthy.
Agreed.
Logan Hall.
Huh?
Logan Hall.
Hall? Potential superstar, but he's got to step up and go. I mean, you're going to let some guys go that were in front of you that were really good, reliable players because you're a first-round pick. You got to step up and be a damn stud.
Yeah,
I mean, go back. I was talking about Quinnen Williams. Quinnen Williams was a top 5 pick, super talented guy, but you're a first-round pick. You got to play like it. So does Joe Tryon. You got to step up. You got to be first-round picks at this point. You got all the damn ability in the world, especially Tryon. That dude is an absolute freak. We watch every game and go, he's almost there. He's almost there. He's almost there. The motor, he blows up more plays. But you got to get home. You got to get home. What can you guys think of a time where he came off the edge, scot-free from a move that he did, had a sack fumble?
And sealed the deal? Yeah, no. Not yet.
I can't think of it. He makes a shitload of plays. You make quarterback runs. He's chasing a guy all over the place. He blows the play up. That happens all the time. But if you come off, throw an arm, throw a spin move, hit the quarterback, ball flies out, off the edge rusher stuff. I can't think of a play where that's him. And you're talking about a freak athlete, a kid that needs to figure it out and play to that potential this year. I mean, there's a lot of that on this defense. I mean, one thing about this defense being what I mentioned earlier, something we can really count on, is those guys like that have to step up into roles where you got big time leaders that are now gone, and you got to step up and be that guy and play like that.
Jake,
yeah, he had that game against the Patriots 2 years ago. Tom's last game. Sorry, Stank. And he could have had a 4 or 5 sack game, JTS, by himself. Oh, yeah. And he still played well. He still had good stats at the end of the night, but he left so much meat on that bone. And it kind of goes to something I've been saying all offseason. One of the most underrated moves by Todd Bowles was the coaching hire of the outside linebacker coach from Dallas, bringing him in, who's going to help these guys, especially JT. If this is the year that he's going to figure it out. If not, then I feel like we've kind of seen the most we're going to get out of him. But that coaching hire is going to end up being a massive upgrade. No offense to who we had before, obviously, but it's going to take these guys to a different level.
I go back to knowing this defense and Todd so well. And we brought in Dwight Freeney one year in Arizona.
I remember that.
Old guy, but he wrecked games. He got home, had a sack fumble. John Abraham, old guy at that point, got home, got to the quarterback, wrecked games. They had that move. JTS has got to get that move that he can count on, that he just starts wrecking people. And quarterbacks go, oh, shit, all they can do is flinch because he's there and he's hitting them and the ball's flying out. or he's getting 2-3 sacks a game. Not getting close, get home. Now, it's going to help him a ton if Shaq is playing like Shaq. And you got both guys coming off the edge, because that's how Todd's defense really, really succeeds. You got both guys coming off the edge. You could X-blitz the linebackers up the middle, which he loves to do, or fire both A-gaps. I think you're going to see a lot of that stuff having those edge rushers healthy. But JT has to just step up, and so does Logan.
Yeah,
I was going to add
a lot of speed.
Exactly.
Go ahead, Stink.
What I was going to ask is about the nickel position. That seems like nobody's really even talking about it, and we don't have anybody now that Sean Murphy-Bunting's gone. You think a guy like what's his face, the corner just had to pick him. Yeah, you think he's playing inside? He's an outside guy, right?
Todd already said he's not even the leader in the clubhouse for that position.
Right.
It's some guy I don't even remember his name.
Who ends up being our nickel?
Nobody
I think
knows.
they're waiting to see who steps up and grabs that role, but I think they know they can count on Antoine Winfield Jr. to go in there and play it if they need to, but they don't have as much depth in the back end where they really like to have him. I mean, Twan's been phenomenal when he's gone in there and done it, but ideally you don't want him to have to, because you don't have those guys that we've counted on in the back. So it'll be interesting to see. I mean, if there's a weakness, it may be safety depth, and you can't have a guy like that. That's probably your best slot corner come up and play it, because you're not really trusting what's going on behind him yet. But I think they're still waiting for somebody to come up and really step up and grab that, or you're going to have to game plan differently every week. I think you can see a lot of different guys playing that position.
So far, they're saying it's Chris Isian, the young guy. Can
you tell us the name of the person that says
he's
that?
He's a rookie. Latte, he's a rookie.
A rookie, yeah.
That's the thing. A rookie.
He has the lead over Zion, bro. What do you want to tell you?
Well, I don't think Zion's even competing for that because his body.
What's up? What's up, Stank? What was your?
Can you tell me the person in chat's name who said that?
So Chris Isian?
Yeah. Hans Pennyloaf.
Hans Pennyloaf?
Hans Pennyloaf. I don't know who that is, but that's a great fucking name. All right, I like it.
This is the last one that I have for Jake.
Hans Pennyloaf says.
By the way, I think a lot of that could depend on who we're playing. Whether Antoine comes out and plays in there, what's going on in the back end. I mean, I think you're going to see a lot of different stuff. If this defense is healthy, I think you see a lot of the traditional Todd Bowles stuff, which is very multiple, and it'll change week to week on who's doing what.
Yeah, I'm excited because the speed that we've had. Go ahead, Latte.
Plus, supposedly said that Chris Isian's a stud. He's been tearing it up in camp, the rookie. So we'll see if he's playing good. That's probably going to put him. But like Jake said, you don't know what the hell Todd Bowles is going to throw at you on a week-to-week basis with game plans and stuff. Jake, you said it's a very winnable division. Tell us why we're going to win this division and why the Saints are going to finish last, because they overpaid. Derek Carr was overrated and never won a playoff game, unlike our starting quarterback in Baker. Yeah.
Bam.
Very winnable division. I don't think the Saints finish last. I think they're right there with the Bucs. I think the biggest part, I might pick Carolina if they had a veteran quarterback that had outlived the growing pains. You're going to live with a rookie.
He's getting killed. That O-line looks shaky. You saw that?
I like the team that they put together. That defense is getting better, but you're going to have the growing pains of a rookie quarterback. Atlanta's still too far away. They're trying to figure it out. But that defense in Carolina, we've played them enough to know it's gotten pretty good. Saints defense is still really freaking good. Derek Carr is a veteran. They can play, and they got some weapons on that offense. They got to stay healthy. They're not as good as they've been, but they're still right there. I still think it comes down to the Bucs and the Saints, and the Bucs have to have good quarterback play to have a chance to win the division. I think they will. I think Baker has a resurgence. And I think it's going to come down to a 9 or 10 win team that wins the division. And I think they're going to be right there in the end of it. But it's still going to be us and the Saints. I don't think the other two are there. I mean, if Derek Carr was playing for Carolina, now they don't have losing DJ Moore was huge too, by the way. Like they got some guys on that offense now, but I like the team that they're building.
Stank said it early on. The team he had mentioned a while ago about Carolina. But yeah, the Saints. Man, fuck the Saints. It's going to be resurgence. Listen, Derek Carr's never won a playoff game. Baker has. So when it comes down to it, in the nitty gritty towards the end of the year, Baker's going to fucking step up. He's been in those pressurized situations.
Don't forget, our backup quarterbacks never lost a playoff game either. Derek Carr's lost multiple playoff games. So, I mean, we already have two quarterbacks better than what the Saints have in one quarterback. And we're not even calculating Jameis.
Our backup quarterback went toe-to-toe with fucking LSU and Joe Big Dick Burrow, bro. I'm not worried. Okay.
Also, he means
our third-string quarterback has a Super Bowl ring.
He also makes a mean fucking salad. That
our third-string quarterback does have a Super Bowl ring.
A Super Bowl ring. I forgot his name, but he has a Super Bowl ring.
Who did he win that with?
What?
Who did he win the Super Bowl with?
The Rams, didn't he?
Just asking, making sure you know what that
I know. I know.
Like,
I forgot his name. I didn't forget what team he played for, bro.
You just melted his brain, and he knows the answer.
Look, I'll tell you this much: the thing the advantage I think we do have on the Saints though is Derek Carr will give it to you. If that it all hinges on our defense staying healthy and Todd being able to do what he likes to do. If JTS and Shaq are playing really well, Derek Carr is he'll give you something. He'll play. He lights you up.
Devin White already introduced himself to Derek Carr. And it was
yes, he did.
Oakland. That played in Oakland.
Oof. It was in Vegas.
Yes,
he did. Absolutely. But he'll give it to you. I mean, that's a difference. But we can't give it away and can't give a bunch of free possessions to a defense that's going to play really good. If the offense plays conservative, I mean, I don't like this we're going to win 21-17 stuff. That's not today's NFL. But that's, kind of having a defensive head coach who likes to play defense and run the ball. But it's better than throwing a couple picks and losing 35-10 because you can't get out of your own way. I think there's going to be a lot of close games. I go back to what I said earlier. Baker can show a little magic early, get the locker room believing, get the fans believing. You win a couple games. You go on the road and win that game week 1 against a good Vikings team. I think there could be some magic in there. I think a lot of it comes down to quarterback play, and I think the biggest thing is you're a very talented team that's got to stay healthy.
All right, Jake, before we end the show, Kyle Trask is getting the nod. He's going to be starter in the second preseason game. He's going to have starters in front of him. He's going to have starters to throw the ball to. And he's going to have starters to hand it off to. Is there anything? Let's say you're not yet decided as a coach. Could Trask still do something to make you think twice about it? And what would that have to be?
Yeah, like right now, I'd say it's 80-20, 90-10 Baker's job. But Trask goes out there in preseason game number 2, Jets preseason game number 3 against a damn good team, and he goes out there and goes 14-16 for 2 touchdowns and throws for 200 in the first half and lights them up. You got to go watch that film really close and go, oh, shit. What? All right, where are we? Do I think he does that? No, he's capable of it, but that's a damn good defense. I mean, I think this game, you see some ups and downs from both of them. Neither one of you wow you that much. You're going to go back to really watching the tape of who read the field better, who went to the right read, stuff that we're not going to know without being in the coach's room of how they're grading the tape. And I don't think there's going to be a lot to the naked eye and the casual fan view that goes, oh, wow. If there is, then yeah, you could probably get back to a 60-40, but I think the way Baker won the locker room over, the building over, still gives him the nod, even if it's 50-50. And I don't think that's the case.
So we're going to do a Kyle watch.
I can make a case that you could get closer when this game's over with.
So we're going to do a Kyle watch. We're going to take those stats down after the show. I'm going to write them down. And we're going to watch that
game. Not just stats. It's making the throws. I mean, you could throw.
I got you.
Look, Justin Fields' stats look like he was the greatest freaking thing that ever lived.
2 screen passes.
He threw an ugly screen pass behind DJ Moore that went for a touchdown. He bought a little time and threw one to Khalil Herbert that was behind him that he bobbled and took it to the house. He was 3 for 3 for 2 touchdowns. Like, it's not the stats. He's got to go out and make the throws and look like the part.
I think the difference I was going to say, when I see Baker play in the limited time I've seen him as a Buck, obviously, but also with the Browns, he reminds me of that point guard that you can put on a team, and you don't have to have the greatest guys around you, and he just naturally will elevate. He'll take your second string guys and make them look better. And I don't see that from Trask yet. If ever, maybe, who knows? But you definitely get that feel. Like you could put Baker on a team with nobody.
When they start believing.
They believe, yeah.
He's got some magic in there.
Correct.
And they start believing in him. Then, yeah. I mean, the other thing is Baker doesn't take as many sacks. Trask's still taking too many sacks for me to like what I'm seeing. And part of that is who you're playing with, who you're playing against. I get all that. But
Tom taught him that, though.
I don't want to. Tom didn't take a lot of sacks. He just got rid of the ball real fast.
Yeah.
So make sure you take a sack instead of throwing.
I don't want to see that. I'd like to see him stand in there, but don't take the sack. Throw it in the ground.
Hey,
throw it away.
You also got a guy that has 60 starts versus a guy that has none. That takes some.
That goes back to what I think you go with the veteran guy that's been in the fires before that's not going to do that stuff.
Perfect. All right.
I think, listen, you need no introduction, right? We know. Yeah. The other part, too, is the way Baker commands the offense, right? The confidence, the way he steps in the huddle, all that stuff matters. All that stuff is
belief.
The little details, man, that they pay attention to. Like, how's he getting the play in? Is he blah, 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 or is it commanding it with confidence and getting in and out of the fucking huddle? All that shit fucking matters.
I'm going to say this not to compare the two, but year one when Tom Brady is in the huddle after the year that they just had with Jameis, who made a bunch of plays but threw a bunch of picks. Nobody could count on it. They thought they could do anything because Tom Brady was their quarterback. Then he proved it, and they were like, holy shit. Now I only say that to say if Baker comes in and he inspires confidence when he's saying that, right? But then he makes some magic happen, and they think he's better than he actually is because they believe in him that much. I think that could take them to another level that I don't know Kyle has that presence. If that makes sense. I don't know that he has that upside. Now, I don't know that Baker's going to do that. But if he does, I think that gives him a leg up that I don't think Kyle really can do personality-wise.
Yeah, but
your dad liked to say biscuits a lot.
How many rookies have we seen come in the NFL that have that fucking attitude? Rookies. Only to get their fucking dick stomped on. You know, it's like a false confidence. Kyle doesn't come in with that arrogance, but you go to the game, bro. He's a physical guy. He's a bigger. He's got a really nice, nice arm. But yeah, you can tell that sometimes he doubts himself. After the pick, he changed. You watch the game.
I don't know that he doubts himself. It's just personality-wise, there's nobody to get in your ass and fire you up. When the quarterback on your team is a dog that you believe in, it's one thing if you got a little chihuahua that's barking, you're like, shut the fuck up, I'm going to kick you down the street. Yeah. You got a Rottweiler getting in your ass that you know will bite the shit out of you. You believe it. If he can be that dog and be that leader and be that swaggy guy that he came in the league with because he's healthy, I think it gives him a leg up to make the players around him think that he's better than he is. Create some magic early. I think they need that. And I don't know that Kyle can pull that off at all.
So he needs to bake some magic muffins is what you're saying. Got it.
Yeah.
Great shirt coming up, guys. Baker's Magic Muffins.
Real quick, we got 108 people in here. Love y'all. Thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure you hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button.
All of you, hit the like button.
Subscribe.
What the hell?
Hey, my name's Christian. I also go as Poppy Latte on Twitter. You can go follow me. Follow my boy Sammer. It's right there. You can see it's beautiful. Stanker. Jake.
Sammer Ali.
How can people follow you, Jake?
I don't care. I'm not on the X anymore. I only get on to like retweet your stuff anymore, and then I'm back off. I can't stand it. But it's still Jake Varians if you care. Go ahead.
Hey, and real talk, hit the like button, subscribe, guys. Hit that notification bell so you know when we're coming on. But really, the way you guys can help us, if you have time, we're also going back to an audio format. Leave us a review on Apple Podcasts or anywhere else you can leave a review. That helps the algorithm, helps us go towards the top. It's great content here. Like, help us out, guys.
Yes. For sure. Every one of our shows is now on audio the day after or the next morning, whatever. So, Latte, that was
make sure to tune into our post-game shows with Bleacher Report.
Starring. Yes. So, every preseason game, and obviously things might change in the regular season. There might be more shows during the regular season, but for now, after every preseason game, we're going to do a 30-minute post game on the Bleacher Report
30-minute,
app.
not 3 minute.
No, 30 minute. I said 30-minute. 30-minute post game kind of reaction. It's live in the Bleacher Report app. That's right. Loose Cannons and Bleacher Report in the same fucking sentence. Right. That's crazy. Maybe we get Jake to hop on.
Are we letting Stank on the post game show?
What? Why do you think
Trask is starting? Trask is starting, so we gave. It was supposed to be me, but I gave him the nod, bro.
So I'm gonna have to watch just to see what I got to yell at him about next time.
Oh, there's gonna be a lot of yelling. Don't worry, Jake.
What I want to know is can Jake join us? When's episode, man?
Jake,
I think I might have to jump in there one time. Yeah, that sounds good.
I see no reason why not. The reason we have Stanker doing it is because it's his guys getting the nod as a start. So it's either going to be his moment to shine or his lowest moment of humility ever.
My problem is of joining you after the game is I can't watch the game. I'm not seeing a preseason game in Arizona. Like you're not.
All right, Jake. So listen, man. What I'll do is I'll get a GoPro. I'll set it up in the theater I have upstairs, and you can just watch the feed directly off of my GoPro.
FaceTime you on to our televisions.
Yeah,
hey, Cali Bucks. Jake is right. Hide Stank from everyone.
I'm gonna tell you right now. Warning: if Trask blows the fuck up, I'm not even gonna talk, bro. For 30 minutes, I'm gonna be making a goat cheese.
No, Stanker's just gonna come on next week, like I told you so.
I'm gonna be sitting there making and eating a goat cheese salad the entire time.
Oh, so gross. Yeah. So gross. Jake, thanks so much for hanging out, man.
Great to see you.
Latte said, hit the like button. 180 of you guys. Come on, it's 108 likes. That'd be awesome. Hit the subscribe button if you are new. I knew we got some new subscribers during the show. And, of course, hit the bell button so you don't miss any of our shows throughout the season and coming up. It's going to be awesome. And we have a lot of shit that we have not told you guys about and have not unveiled. And until then, I'll see you guys Saturday night, I believe, on the Bleacher Report app. Go Bucks.
Go Bucks.
Welcome to Tampa Bay.